What's up everyone, welcome back. I'm gonna talk about some trends that I'm seeing from Japan, and that's these giant worms, giant baits. I mean, it's not a brand new trend, but I'm seeing more and more of it, so we'll just talk about it right now. Thanks everyone for watching. As you know, we talk a lot about bass fishing tackle, a lot of the latest and greatest, and I'm always keeping an eye on Japan and what they're doing. And I have several acquaintances and friends that have been to Japan recently, and they say the trend over there is little tiny baits, little finesse stuff, you know, your BFS style baits, little tiny minnows and worms, and then huge stuff on the other end of the spectrum. There's really nowhere in between is what they're saying. It's just kind of how it is. And you know, it's just a thing that's happening there, and it's something that I think we're gonna see more and more of here with these bigger baits. You know, we're seeing it especially with the big worms. You know, you think of the G-Crack, G-Crazy that just came out. I mean, that's an 18-inch worm. They're fishing on a Nico rig, just a really thin, long worm. You know, it's not the only one that does it. You know, you got the evergreen worm, you got the depths right here, the Kinko Air, this 13-inch bait. It's something that's happening quite a bit. You can see this guy is a big old 13-inch worm, looks like a big centipede or a little snake. You can fish this on a wacky, a Nico. It's just a really unique way to fish. I mean, that's something that we're seeing a lot of. And again, this isn't new. I mean, back in the day, people were using hand-poured worms that are 13 inches. And even more recently, like those Upton's Customs, those are like 13-inch hand-poured worms, really popular in California, Arizona. And even back in the day, like they were using those huge worms and stitching, if you remember that, just fishing them really slow, just kind of pulling the line in with their hand and then reeling up the slack. I mean, that's old school, old school. But even like power worms or something more basic, you know, they got 10, 12-inch power worms, and that's not like a new thing. But what's new is how they are fishing these baits on a Nico rig, or Neko rig is the actual correct pronunciation. But they're fishing it on that rig, so it's just kind of undulating in the bottom versus a Texas rig. So that's something that is really making a big push right now. Like I said, with that G-Crack worm, this one, the evergreen bow stick or whatever that thing's called. There's just a lot of different ones, and I think we're gonna see more of these bigger jumbo worms. But it's not just worms. I mean, you think of the minnows too, that's another big trend. Obviously, everyone's throwing a Sakamata shad, but you know, not a lot of people are talking about the big 8-inch. You know, that's a big old worm, big old bait right there. I've caught some fish on it, you know, fishing it more traditionally like a fluke style bait, you know, kind of darting through the water, but you could throw it on a jig head as well. I mean, a lot of people are starting to do that, going bigger and bigger with these giant 8-inch Sakamata shads. Topwaters too. I mean, topwaters kind of always been big. You know, there's always been, you know, those huge, you know, like the big stick from Ima, huge pencil poppers, you know, big spooks. You know, there's just a lot of big topwaters out there. But one that I really like is this guy from Japan, the Depths Evoke Zero, the 150 size. So you can see how big that is. It's a plopper bait. It's like as big as my hand, as long as my hand. It's a huge bait. They also, a lot of their baits have that pink on the top so you can see it, which is kind of unique. I mean, obviously you're gonna see when a fish blows up on something like this, but that's just a trend that a lot of those colors have that, a lot of those baits have that pink on the top. So these are just a few of the jumbo size baits coming from Japan. Again, that trend is little tiny stuff or really big. So are you seeing that trend out there? Is this something new to you? You know, let me know. Like I said, I always keep an eye on Japan, and that's just something that I've seen recently is these bigger baits, these bigger worms specifically getting more attention. Just wrote an article on it that will be out pretty soon for Western Bass about that. And you know, that's really what the trend's all about. So it's something I'm seeing. Let me know if you're seeing it too. Thanks for watching.